structure of research funding of Thailand. The past decades, we have been using a model whereby research institutes and researchers would submit their proposals to either the National Research Council or whatever agencies. But this time, we are asking that, and we are working very closely with the Budget Bureau, that we would like to categorize national research funding into 3 categories. The first category is that any research funding that will be allocated must be consistent to the national strategies or national clusters, to make sure that we have deliverables that can answer to the society that the research money is well spent and the outcomes usable, not only in economic development but also in social development. In the past, we sort of have this in the picture, but it's not so clear and it's not so implementable. So we'll make sure that it's implementable this time. In this regard, we are talking about national strategies that are limited to its numbers. You know, it's not going to be 100 pieces of national strategies. It could be 5, it could be 10. Manageable, but intact to that policy, we will introduce a new scheme on monitoring and evaluation system throughout the year, so that we'll make sure to our government in the future that every baht that we invest in research is meaningful and is something that it should not be considered just annual budgeting system. It has to be strategic budgeting system for research for the first time. So we are talking about a strategic plan for each agenda, maybe 3-year plan, 5-year plan. So this is the first category, and we hope that after this will be the biggest category. At the moment, it is not the case because we are still living with the old paradigm of research investment. The other 2 categories would consist of research expenditure with regard to scientific and technological infrastructure. We need to invest or reinvest and upgrade our research infrastructure badly. We haven't done that for many decades now. And this will include investing in our scientific human resources also. And I'm not talking about primary school, secondary school. I'm talking about researchers, capable researchers, especially quality researchers, that can not only work within the research institutions or universities, but can work with the private industry. And the third category would be research to build up new knowledge, research for social studies, research, basic research. The first 2 categories would focus more on applied research. And last but not least, I would also like to encourage our researchers, our professors, that today we need to look outside of the campus a bit more. For example, the program called Talent Mobility, whereby we realize that if we want to get the country moving forward, we need to get the private sector to do more, as I have mentioned earlier. But to do that, at least this coming 5 years, we need to get the researchers that they need in the private sector. Where are they? They are in your universities. They are in your research institutions. So as a country, it makes a lot of sense to make sure that the researchers that the private sector need to improve their products and to innovate their products will have to come from public institutions. It's impossible in the old days, but since early last year, through cabinet resolution, we allow public researchers to be able to work even on a full-time basis with the private sector, and counting those time and those years as public service. For those who are under scholarships and need to pay back their time, it would also be counted as paying back their time for scholarships. So with this kind of proactive policy measures is one of the examples that highlight the fact that we are serious. The Thai government is serious. The Thai government wants reform. The Thai government would not stop at the planning stage, at the drawing board. But the past 2 years, we have been implementing a number of policy measures to make it happen. And last but not least, we have formed up a number of funds in order to fund many new entities that we will not be able to fund before. For example, we have a 10 billion baht fund at the moment, for which we are scrutinizing that we would use this fund to promote at least 2 activities in the country. One is to enhance those companies who would want to do research, and we will match them with some research contribution fund, even to the private sector. And number 2 is to use this 10 billion baht fund to promote startup heavily, and show that through these innovative schemes, we will get Thailand to another level, to the new S-curve, and providing more opportunities, especially to our young generation, is something that they need, is something that they need to be exposed to, is something that they need in order to get our own society out of confusion. We have already enough confusion. We are looking to hope, into opportunities, and to provide jobs, employment, as well as quality of life to the people at large. Thank you very much for your attention.